Welcome back to What's Up. The Marathon De Sables, or Marathon of the Sands, takes place every year in Southern Morocco in the Sahara Desert. It's a gruelling 6-day marathon covering 251 kilometres, or equivalent to 6 marathons. Considered to be the toughest foot race on the planet, this ultramarathon proves to be a test of endurance and determination to every athlete who enters. This year, 2 Dubai expats faced the challenge and successfully completed the race. Let's meet Marcus Smith and Tom Otten for this week's Celebrity Fit.
My name is Tom Otten. I run a digital agency in Dubai, focusing on social media management websites. I've been here for 9 years. I'm originally from UK. I studied in South Africa, and I spent most of my time in the Middle East before coming to Dubai. Sports-wise, rugby's been my passion for most of my life. When I finished playing rugby, I got into distance running, and hence why I ended up doing the Marathon De Sables.
My name's Marcus Smith. I'm originally from the UK. I've been in Dubai for a number of years. I've been into sport my whole life. I used to play professional rugby down in Australia, and I moved back to Dubai in 2004. And in 2008, set up my own company, In a Fight, which is an international fitness performance company based here in Dubai, where we help to make people's lives better through physical training and physical instruction. I do all different sports, and over the last couple of years, I've done a lot more running to try and challenge myself a little bit more and just get a little bit more uncomfortable.
Started out through rugby, actually. We used to play against each other for many years. I was part of the Dubai Dragons, and Marcus was captaining the Dubai Exiles at the time. So we used to play against each other. That's how we got to know each other. And then from there, we both ended up playing international sevens. So we met on the rugby field and became friends from there, because I think we both had an affinity for pushing ourselves to limits, and sort of we became friends from that.
Someone said to me in 2010, when I was running a marathon, they said there's only really one marathon to run, and that's Marathon De Sables. And I had a look at it, and I was like, well, that's not one marathon, it's 5 marathons or 6 marathons. And that sort of interested me a little bit. And so since that time, I was always looking at Marathon De Sables and thinking about running in the desert. And 2 years ago, I signed up for it, and then luckily I managed to rope Tom into running his first marathon. And then when he'd finished that, I told him that we had a longer marathon to run, and asked him to come and run in the Sahara, and he said yes.
We're very fortunate to live in the UAE, where we do have a fairly similar environment in terms of it's hot. It's terribly hot sometimes out in the desert, and it can get quite humid as well. So, we had the sand out there to go and run through. It was a great opportunity to get out into similar sort of environments, which a lot of the guys coming from Europe don't get the opportunity to do that. Some of the guys that we met along the way, they were running through snowdrifts before they came out to the Sahara Desert for the MDS. So we had the opportunity to go out into the desert here, and we recreated a few of the sort of similar scenarios. So a few times we went out, we did a decent run, we slept rough overnight, we got up the next morning and we did the same thing again. So it was, we had the opportunity to do that, so we recreated it as much as we could. It's been the greatest physical challenge that I've done personally to date. There's other things that have been sort of pretty difficult, but this, in terms of the duration, the waking up and going again, the sort of mental approach to something of this sort of size, it's certainly the largest thing that I've done personally.
There's no doubt it's a super tough race. You're in the desert for a long time. We're there for 8 days with no washing facilities, limited clothes, not the greatest food. It's a really tough race. Is it like one of the hardest things? And I don't know, I did a race a couple of years ago that I didn't sleep for close to 65 hours. So that was quite tough. We were running for 40 hours. I think it's very difficult, and I think sometimes in the endurance world, everyone's like, that's the hardest or that's the hardest. Every race has its own conditions, every race has its own challenges, and everyone starts out to complete their challenge and to do their race. And you know, it's very difficult to say whether one race is harder than the other. There's no doubt Marathon de Sables is a hugely challenging race. Physically, it's quite tough. Mentally, it's very tough because you're there for so long. So yeah, if people are thinking of getting involved, it's definitely something that's going to test you in a number of different ways. There's two different ways to look at it. A lot of people take a lot of very high sugar food. What we chose to do is use fat as a source of energy. So we use a lot of fat, which we're able to get a lot of calories from relatively small amount of food. Although having said that, you try and envisage what 6 days of food looks like. So we looked at a lot of dehydrated food, a lot of pre-packed food, and a lot of food that gave us really high energy levels and a lot of calories to as small and as dense as possible. So we were actually eating, we developed a product, a dehydrated meat with the Organic Foods and Cafe here in Dubai that we used every day for dinner, and then we just used a load of nuts and a load of nut butter to get through, and that was absolutely fine. The one issue that we found that we had is in the race you're rationed with water, so you don't have a great deal of water, which was slightly challenging for us because obviously a lot of the runners are about 50 to 60 kilos and they get the same amount of water that we got. And we're a lot heavier than that, and we sometimes didn't have enough water. So that was a big challenge, but we managed to overcome it as well. It doesn't really test your friendship. Like I say, if you know why you're there and why you're doing it, it's more about enjoying it and just helping each other in the times that are probably not so easy.
When you're going to those sort of extreme environments with someone, the better you know them, the easier that relationship's going to be when you start to get tested. So I'd say not necessarily testing the friendship, but it's more getting to know each other and how each other reacts under sort of extreme pressure. And then you come out of that and yeah, you know the other person better, and therefore the next event's going to be a lot easier because we know how to deal with each other. The race is just it's a short period, but there's a lot of preparation for that. You know, there's months and months of planning what you're going to eat, what you're going to carry, all the training that you're going to do out in the desert. There's a lot that comes with it. So if you're going to do all of that on your own, and it really is sort of at least a 6-month undertaking, if you're going to do that on your own, that's a lot of time you're going to spend on your own. And it's, for me personally, I'd rather spend that with someone that we have a bit of fun with. So that's my point of view.
Find someone that you get on with and find someone that you can have fun with, and it really helps your morale and it'll help you to be successful in that challenge. Tom and I, luckily, as we said, we knew each other, we played rugby, we've known each other for the best part of 10 years, and we're able just in every situation just to try and have as much fun as possible. For me, that really helps a lot.